everybody. Welcome to Cardistry, Lore, and More. I'm Kevin Ho. I'm here with my co-host, Brendan Connor. And today
Morning.
we are joined by two very special guests, Noel Heath and Aviv Moraly. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey,
Thanks for having
Yay.
us. Happy to be here.
we
Big
made it.
fan of the pod.
We
Thank
did
you.
it.
Thank you.
How is everyone this beautiful morning?
Pretty
Doing pretty
good.
good.
Pretty
Yeah,
chill.
All right.
no
Well,
complaints.
yeah, I guess there's so many ways that this conversation could go. I know there's a lot of mega Cardistry fans, mega Aviv Noel fans that just want us to like literally watch your videos and go piece by piece and dissect every single move. I don't think we're gonna do that because we just want to chat, yeah, hang out, keep it cool. But yeah, what have you guys been up to with card shuffling, card magic?
You want to start, Aviv?
Well, I've been working on a project for a while now.
Okay.
I'll have to keep it a mystery for now, but I've been working on this for a while, and I hope that this year I'll be able to release something.
Okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Is that all? Is that all we're gonna get for now?
Yeah, for now,
Okay. So
unfortunately.
there's something
Yeah.
incredible. Okay. How about you, Noel?
Lately I've been doing a lot of film stuff. I've been going to film school, doing short films, a little bit of freelance work and stuff like that. In terms of shuffling, I've had a little bit of a hiatus because I've been mostly focused on filmmaking. But as some of you might have seen, I've recently started Patreon,
Yes.
which has been really, yeah, it's been a really nice experience, like putting that out and like sort of, I mean, reflecting back on like all of my material and things like that. It's been yeah, it's been nice. The getting like the positive response and all that. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing that.
That's
Incredible.
great.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing most. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, I guess both of you, I know, have a very deep body of work, and the moves that you both have are really, really well thought out, um, and well structured. But I guess we'll go from you, Noel, because you're the one literally teaching things on the Patreon right now. How has it been like teaching your material? Because you did a few things with Fontaine, like you did the I forget what that one,
Cardistry High.
Cardistry
Cardistry
High.
High,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you've never really released like notes or a book or anything, right? Like,
No. Uh, yeah, no. I've been. It feels like teaching cardistry and writing. I have a hard time wrapping my head around.
hmm
Uh, it just feels easier for me to just record and you know having like a sort of vocal instruction
Yep,
along with it, just like a walkthrough.
yep.
Um, and yeah, it's been interesting trying to teach a lot of it. Some like I'm trying to teach all of my material on my Patreon, but there's definitely like some things that I'm like not even gonna touch because some moves are like so conceptual where they don't even have like an opener or a closer. So it just feels sort of pointless teaching those. So I've been sort of like mainly focusing on the stuff that is somewhat possible to do. Some things are like kind of intermediate. Some things are like very advanced, and those are just I think those are fun to learn just for the challenge, and also since the moves are very conceptual, it might like inspire other ideas as well. So some of them I think like some of the more crazy moves you can definitely like take the concept and do other things with it, and things like that.
Gotcha.
Because most of my material I kind of just create and then leave because a lot of
Mm,
it's pretty hardcore. So,
yeah.
but I enjoy learning that stuff, and so hopefully other people do as well. So
For sure. Yeah, you
you
and
know.
Aviv, I think, are in the similar. There's like a genre of cardist. We've talked about it a few times on the pod where it's like create the move, film the move, and then
Never do the
Move
move
on.
again.
yeah, abandon the move.
Yeah.
Spencer.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
Aviv, I'm gonna also pivot it to you a little bit. So I know you've um have a very like theoretical way of like teaching your own cardistry and also like how you think about cardistry as well. And um, how do you think like the current state of how we as a community are like sharing our cardistry, teaching our cardistry, thinking about our cardistry? Do you think we're in a good spot? Do you think there's room for improvement? Kind of what's your perspective on like the current state of cardistry education, I guess you can call it, or card magic cardistry education?
Um, well, cardistry education, I think, is a much bigger subject than
Mm,
what we actually are doing right now. What we basically do is we teach techniques.
right,
We don't
right.
really educate. Like, there is no real theory or framework or philosophy or
Mm,
a common language that we can use to explore these territories that we often don't know how to, how to communicate and in any insightful way. Um, Even just the way we teach flourishes, I believe there's room for improvement, but at the same time, some moves don't need so much depth. Some moves, like let's say tutorials like anyone's demonstrations.
yeah.
I personally really enjoy them,
Hmm.
right? There's something very positive in just watching them. Like it's almost like in the system, you need to train your eye and kind of like notice by yourself, okay, I need to put the finger here. This is why it's not working. And there's like a really interesting learning aspect to it. But then you have tutorials like Virtuoso that
Yeah.
are like so extensive and
Hmm.
so in depth, and they just as much have like really cool insights that you might not get from these other tutorials. So I think part of it is developing a sort of intuition and understanding of the move
Yeah,
and understand how to actually, like what tutorial actually does it justice. Um, but even the way that we do tutorials, I believe, will change in the future. So
for
that will
sure.
come when we'll start to have better education with time, I believe.
Totally. Totally. I guess on that note, then, I'd like to ask you both kind of if you could just sum up maybe in a couple sentences in a few words, like what are your philosophies or approaches to creativity and cardistry? Yeah, sorry. The coffee's hitting. It's like 7 a.m. The coffee's
Oh my
finally hitting me. I'm like, let's go.
Are did you say just like our philosophies on cardistry?
Well, I feel like both of you kind of showed up to the community and really just like fucked up the game immediately.
Huh.
But in such a unique way. And like I don't think there's ever gonna be like another Noel or another Aviv and vice versa. Even though you two collab too and share a lot of similarities, you're also very distinct in how
Hmm.
you create and like your styles of cardistry. But like I
Yeah.
don't know, like what are your approaches to shuffling cards?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've had a lot of conversations with Aviv about this,
Mm,
and it always like comes down to, at least in my case, that uh, I don't really think about it that much, like
mm,
cardistry in general, or like my style. Um, I think it's about just having like uh, I guess it is tough to sort of, because I only analyze it retrospectively and try and like piece together maybe like how I think.
right.
Um, I think just like instinctively, I'm very reaction seeking
Mm,
in whatever I decide to do creatively. I have this background in magic and sleight of hand,
yep.
um, and you know, it all just comes down to instinct and doing what I think looks cool, and it just comes out a certain way. And I don't like thinking about it too much. It takes out the fun for me personally. I think everybody's approach is different, but in my case, it's just been very like flow state, natural. I sit down, I listen to some music, I
Yeah.
fuck around with cards, and just stuff happens. And then looking at my material, there's definitely like a distinct sort of style.
Mm.
But it just comes naturally, I think, just from spending a lot of time with cards and being very invested in what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that answers your question, but
No, it does. I think that's going to be
uh,
disappointing to a lot of people who are like wanted the
probably,
secret to your success, but now you just like
yeah,
sit down and like drink a lot of water.
yeah. Eat
Make
eat your
sure,
vegetables.
eat like a
Be
hearty
nice to your
breakfast.
mom.
Yeah, be nice to your mom.
Uh,
Uh, and like you can make XEM3.
yeah,
How about you, Aviv?
I mean, I'm pretty much the same. Like it's
yeah. Boo.
it's funny, but there's so much that you can say. Like you can like just asking the question, what is your creative process? You can speak about all of Cardistry by just approaching that question, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but I think that that's the secret, that you don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you knew what was happening,
Yeah,
you're back in the known and you're not really creating, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
to me, it's not so much about
yeah.
understanding what I'm doing as I'm doing it, as much as setting the conditions for it to happen,
Yeah, you need to
right?
be like an active what do you say? Like you need
Yeah,
to
participant.
participate. You can't be
exactly.
looking at it from the
It's
outside.
not, it's like people
Uh,
ask you what is your creative process, and I feel it's like it's not mine. I don't
Mm.
own it. It's something I participate in. It's something that kind of takes a life of its own, and I get caught up in the rhythm of it. And I know that for me, I look for, well, I refer to this as moments of resonance. I look for things that kind of speak to me or move me or excite me or intrigue me, and that engages me emotionally. And then I do something that affects me, and then I engage emotionally, and then I get caught up in that, and then you just lose yourself. I wish to lose myself in that process. There is no guarantee it will happen.
Right.
But that's usually when you follow that lead and you don't try to control it, when you admit that you don't know what's happening, that's when the magic happens. And then you kind of like look in retrospect and you're like, what just
what
happened?
happened? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You kind of like wake up from it and you're like, oh my
Exactly.
God, you
Post-nut
know?
clarity. Totally.
Post cut clarity.
Post-cut
Yeah, that's right.
clarity! Oh my
Yo,
God.
that's crazy. But it's so real too. But I think, okay, I hear both of you, and I think if you've been shuffling long enough, and you're creating your own moves too, you will maybe encounter moments like this. I find though, I always have a very hard time identifying those moments by myself. Most of the time, it's when I'm
Really?
shuffling with another cardist and someone you're just like messing around, maybe with a couple concepts or ideas, and someone's like, "Whoa, like what is that?" And in my brain, I've always been like, "This is nothing. Like I think this is so stupid. It's just like something
Right.
I'm setting up." But
But
someone
here's
else
the
notices.
thing, like his reaction engaged you emotionally in that thing.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
And it kind of opened you up to it, and then you start to look at it
yeah,
again and explore it
Mm.
and play with it, and then because there's someone there, and then you can build on it. Um, but it happens to me too. Like I would do something, and then somebody say, "Oh, what was that?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"What are you talking about?"
yeah,
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 But yeah, I think we try to put it in a box in a sense, but
yes,
the process just renews itself every time. That's
yeah.
what keeps it fresh. That's why I feel like I can keep on creating forever because I don't
Gotcha.
try to um, I try to preserve it as a mystery. Like if I try to explain it, I don't try to explain away the magic of it. I try to how can we actually open up to allow it to happen because it's a natural process. Nobody really can really scientifically explain it to you. You can talk about I don't know, cognitive science, whatever you want,
Yeah,
but it doesn't really, in the living experience, it doesn't really help you. So
interesting.
it will be really interesting to figure out how can we actually, um, like, let's say if you want to teach someone how to enter into the creative process, like,
Mm.
how can you do that? Like, that's a really,
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
silly. It feels silly to sort of analyze. It's just playing. Like it's so simple. Like it's just
playing
it's
cards.
yeah. It's just playing. It's like
wow.
if a joke is funny, it's funny. Like explaining a joke
It takes,
ruins it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's the same thing, I think. Where it's just like,
that's
don't
a good
take
way of
it so
putting it.
fucking serious. Do just fuck around
Yeah,
and
It's
have
kind of a
fun.
paradox, though.
Yeah,
It's like, I feel
yeah,
like it is serious, but it's not serious at the same time.
yeah. No, for sure. I
yeah. No,
think
that's passion. Like that's
that's
just being like putting the time in. But hopefully, you put the time in because you're enjoying it.
for
Yes,
sure.
yeah, there
I
is this
think in
purity
in
in it.
our like drive to kind of validate cardistry and like make ourselves cool over the past like few decades as well. Maybe like yeah, that concept of like we are just like playing cards, and like when we go
yeah,
like jam, we're literally like playing with our homies.
Yeah,
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
because
right.
like we take ourselves very seriously as well, which I think is also important, and like kind of gives you that work ethic and stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, we are just playing. That's a really good way of looking
it's
at it.
like it's like if we're talking about playing, it's almost like the seriousness that you have when you play a game. You need to be serious in the playing of the game in order to enjoy the game.
Yeah,
But you can't, like, there is a balance to it that happens. If you're too serious,
mm.
then what are you doing? It's just a game.
Bro,
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
yeah,
we're going
What?
to Tokyo. We're getting an Airbnb with 12 homies. We're going to play all week. We're just playing.
Why do you have to be mad? It's only a game.
Yeah. Good stuff. I have one last point on this. Does this, what you both said, does this apply to two-hand cuts? Or is it more like XCM?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
I
um,
mean, I think personally, I think it depends on your general approach.
Mm,
I think that one thing that is coming to me and Noel is that we are more of generalists.
yeah.
We spread our web wide, you know.
Mm,
This is why I think we are more likely to integrate magic into our stuff because we bleed outside of cardistry even because of this approach.
right.
But people who are more specialist, which is cool, that's what's there for you, that's what you feel works for
Hmm.
you, then it's more likely that that experience that we talked about will narrow down to that packet cutting aspect. But
Right.
I feel like the nature of it is pretty much more or less the same.
yeah.
Right.
I couldn't speak to that because I don't do that.
I don't
I
do
don't do
that.
I don't do the two hand cuts thing. I don't know how it works. I've tried, like I've really, really tried, and
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around it. Like it's yeah, I just hit a wall.
And then
Mm,
Kind
creating
of
something
frustrating.
like Suddenly Sybil.
Yeah, it just comes out weird. So I just don't.
Just say gut.
let me pull. Kevin, do you have any questions?
I do. I want to know, how did you each get started, and who were some of your early influences?
Um, I started, just doing, started doing magic at like 11, like most of us, and pretty quickly, got really drawn to cards.
Hmm.
I went on Theory 11. I saw Dan and Dave, and quickly, you know, found I kind of lurked on Technique.
Hey.
I was on the Kuso a lot, and
What?
I and
Yeah.
Oh, you're like an OG.
Yeah, yeah, I was an OG lurker.
Yeah.
And I discovered like Alan Hagen's videos, like the Magic
Yeah.
Weekend videos,
Yeah.
and that's when, oh yeah, that and Opera, by Dimitri.
Dimitri.
That was quite a shock to the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I started to dabble a little bit, just learning like little flourishes and stuff. But for many years I was like mostly doing magic. I had like by the time I met Zach and Dimitri for the first time, I had like maybe one or two cardistry moves, and that was it. But I was a big fan of cardistry, and obviously, I think my biggest influence has been Jonas Haglund.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we share a lot of the same sort of ethos when it comes to our material and stuff.
Yeah.
I just copied him basically. Um,
As a lot of us do, or still
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, I mean, it just became sort of a gradual thing where I was doing a lot of like Move Monkey card stuff. Then I met Zach, I met Dimitri, and I just started to lose myself more and more into the whole cardistry sphere until I was like only doing that for a couple of years, only cardistry, no magic,
Hmm.
and then kind of got blended back in together again. Um,
Incredible. Yeah.
yeah.
Cardistry has actually really, really deep roots, like the start of cardistry in Scandinavia, because,
Yeah.
yeah, like Alan Hagen, Jonas, Eric, DeFlair,
The Flare.
Chris
Yeah.
Hessness,
Yeah.
um, were all like OG members and like really like heavy contributing members of the community back in the day. And Alan Hagen in particular, I don't think gets enough
Absolutely, man. He was
acknowledgement.
the first one to push cinematography.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And
Those
also
Magic
just
Weekend videos were insane.
yeah, I think more importantly, sort of the jamming aspect of it, and that
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
first time like you would ever see like cardists sort of interacting with each other and like having fun, and
Yeah.
like it just put another context onto it, which I think is a big reason why it kind of evolved.
I
Yeah.
used to watch
And
those videos hoping Jordan Lapping was going to like leak one of
Yeah,
Dan and Dave's like
yeah,
underground
yeah,
moves because he would always
yeah,
do
yeah,
like some unreleased Dan and Dave move or
yeah.
something in those jam
Shout out
sessions.
Jordan.
Ciao, Jordan.
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Mm.
one of the best
Goated.
Pandoras out there.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
Dude was ahead of his time.
Yeah, Ellen was so good at capturing the vibe of the
Yeah.
jam. Like I would watch like I think CJ said that, right? Like that was his
Yep.
favorite videos. I watch these videos every day.
Yeah,
I
man.
loved it
same,
so much. I
Yeah,
got so much
same.
inspiration out of it.
totally.
Uh, really, really good. And I'm happy that Ellen is back. He's been doing some videos lately.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure
Yeah.
too.
Alan's a legend. Like across the board, in and out of out of cardistry and card magic, guy's a legend. Um, and yeah, and then seeing that final like the Magic was it a Magic Weekend video that where like Tobias and Oliver and all of them ended up and Jonas
Oh
was
yeah,
in it
like
all one
the
together.
Corridor.
corridor
Oh,
The
one.
corridor
Yeah,
one with like
yeah,
bridging the two
yeah. It's
generations.
cool.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, very sweet.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
So
Oh,
was at
he.
that convention when they filmed that, but
Oh,
You were
Oh,
there?
yeah, I
Ah.
wasn't present while they were filming, but I was there that year at the convention. Yeah.
hell yeah. That's so
Gotcha.
cool.
I'm curious, Noel. What do you remember the flourishes that you had before you dove deeper into
Yeah, I
cardistry?
think it was like Virus and Spatchum.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn.
That's where you start. Damn.
Yeah, that's like
Is Spatchum the
Yeah.
one with like
It's
That's the whole
like
like routine. Yeah. I don't think.
that's ridiculous.
bro, that's crazy. Yeah, that's like the being like Dimitri, like one of his first movies being Moulin Rouge was just like the hell.
Ooh, a bit of lore before I
Ooh.
forget. Harapan is partially responsible for Spatchum. He helped me create it.
What?
Yeah, because yeah, well, yeah, back in the day, like when I was basically still like a kid, I would have a lot of Skype sessions with Harapan, and he would like teach me a lot. And I knew that he knew like the other like Singapore guys. Like I think I he knew you, I for sure, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
So I was working on this cardistry move and asked him if if there's a way to get like a card twirl to where I could get into this, and I'm
Mm.
pretty sure he taught me I think this is Hurons or
Firefly.
Firefly.
yeah. He taught me this thing. So yes, shout out Harapan for
Harpan.
creating Spatchum.
Harapan leak.
He's the secret
Uh,
secret glue.
But he's
yeah,
not a cardist.
He's not a cardist.
that's right. Mm.
Crazy.
Aviv, what is your origin story, and who are some of your early influences?
Um, my origin story. Well, I started from doing magic too, the old school way. Uh, it's so funny that we are referred to as old schoolers, and
I
we are
know.
like only
I know,
30 years
dude.
old.
Bro, it's
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah,
Well, it just tells like how young this art form is.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who are younger than how long we've been doing cardistry for, you know?
Oh man, yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's why this podcast exists. We got to educate the youth.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, I started doing magic. I did Born to Perform by Oz Perlman.
Nice.
Oh,
I still do
That's my
those
goat.
tricks to this day. The same tricks, Biddle trick,
Good.
ambitious card.
Biddle. Yeah. Red Hot
to
Mamacita.
starry-eyed surprise.
Yeah,
Starry-eyed
yeah.
surprise.
So
Good
good.
stuff.
And then I started to just look for tutorials and everything that I could get my hands on
Yeah.
online. And I think there was like a magictrickstutorial.com, something like that, like something
Mm.
very um, um, there was only one guy there that just taught all the tricks. And I started to get deeper into it. And maybe after 2 or 3 months, I came across Spring Jam 2007, which is done in Dave in the middle of the desert, springing cards at each other's faces.
Yeah.
And I was
Iconic.
like, I want to do that, you know? Um, and it was right at the time that the trilogy came out, so there was like a lot of hype at the community at the time, and I found out about the technique. And yeah, I just started to do a video. I remember telling myself I'll do a video like every half a year, just
Mm.
because whatever. And I didn't stick to it too long. Um, and yeah, I never took it seriously until maybe the age of 21. I was always on and off.
Mm.
I had like long periods of just not touching the cards, not thinking about it, then coming back, creating some stuff, doing a video, quitting again. It was never too serious. Um, but yeah, here I am.
Love it.
Excellent.
Love it. Um, okay, I have a question about the community. So you're both like titans of the community, but you both tend to like drop something and then kind of like back into the shadows again until it's your next time to fuck up the game, as I say. What are your like thoughts about kind of doing cardistry for yourself in a way? This is where also I lie. Like I interact with the community, but I mostly just create cardistry for myself. It's like I don't know, I enjoy it. Where do you think like the important like what's the most important area to be within the community, do you think? Do you think it's like very important to be a heavy participatory member of the community? Do you think it's okay to just do it for yourself? What are your kind of thoughts on
Obviously,
community as a whole?
anything you want. Obviously,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
fair.
of course. I don't know. I don't think you should have any pressure to do anything you don't want to do in terms of this, like
Mm,
cardistry. If you just want to jam in your room by yourself and not post anything, that's awesome.
yeah.
If you want to be super active on social media, that's super cool too. I don't know. I don't think it's yeah. I don't see why you can't just have your own sort of relationship with it.
Let me reframe a little bit.
Okay.
from the perspective though of becoming the best cardist
Oh,
possible,
I see.
or improving or creating or something, do you think being an active member of the community is like an important piece to that puzzle?
I see. Okay.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think if you just, if you, I think if you just put the work in and then release it at some point, people will appreciate the like if it's good. I don't know.
Mm.
It's like do you mean like if you wanna like uh be, are you talking about like if you wanna get like popular or something?
Not even like I think I'll use you two as an example, like
Mm,
because I saw you like you I helped both of you film Green,
mm,
and even during that process, like you two were even like the day of filming, still very collaborative about the moves you were going to do, or like maybe like shifting things up or something. It was still very like
mm,
involved process between you two. I think
yeah.
your collabs are very collaborative,
Mm,
and
yeah.
you're open to suggestions from other people.
Mm,
And then the end result is always something spectacular. So
Thanks.
yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
no, and I think that is like a little bit of secret sauce to some of the best videos is like having
So
another
do you
person's
mean
input.
like if being an active part of the community helps make your material better? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or as good as it can be. Or do you think you can just do it
In
alone?
my case, I would say yes.
Yeah.
It for other people it might seem like I'm just doing my things in the shadows and then like
Mm,
come out with the material. But I always share my ideas while I'm working on them with,
yeah.
you know, my friends, and get a lot of insight.
Mm,
So I would say yes in that case. Definitely be a part of the community in that sense, and you know, like, and also that's the fun part, the back and forth sort of, you know, spitballing ideas and things
totally.
like that.
It's like
Um,
editing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I definitely think that first of all, having someone to share your ideas with and that you can trust and that you have good synergy with is monumental in creating good stuff.
Mm,
Like for me, for the past 10 years, and I forgot about that part of of the previous question, one of my biggest influences was Spencer.
yeah.
I was jamming with this guy for like every day, and we've got to the point that we don't even know whose ideas were like we were just jamming
Mm,
ideas and they were our ideas. And some ideas he did better, some ideas I did better, and we just um, even that you have someone in front of you, it might be to the camera. Realistically speaking, you're designing to the camera,
Mm,
but you have someone that you kind of trying to impress, but you have the same, you're on the same vibe. So it's much easier to, like I remember when we were working on XCM, um, just having Noel in front of me telling me, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and I couldn't see it.
mm,
So it's like a mirror that tells you what to do in a sense.
right.
So there is something very powerful in that, and I would suggest everyone to find their crew, even if it's one person, two people, three people, to do that. That's like a must. That's something that I'm missing nowadays. Like I don't do it as much as I used to,
Right.
and I feel like this is why my creativity also gets affected by that.
Gotcha.
In terms of being a good cardist, I do think that being an active player in the community is part of it.
Mm,
And I'm in a fault here because I'm not that active in the community,
yeah.
right? So I'm not just trying to preach here, but I really think that if you want to be a good cardist, it's not a matter of only being good with the cards. You need to be good with cardists.
Right.
You need to
Right.
be, you need to communicate. You need to share ideas. You need to, when somebody asks you a question, answer. Like just like try to do what yours to do. If you feel like you can do a podcast like you guys doing right now, that's like to me being a good cardist too.
Mm,
And there's a lot of things that comes from it that you can't really do alone in your room.
yeah.
Of course, the what holds all of it is doing it alone in your room and you having your passion for it, of course. But there's so much more if you want to open up to it. It's there.
Great answer.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Yeah, it's hard for me to sort of personally to imagine doing cardistry in a vacuum. It might work for some people, and that, good for them. But the fun for me is the has always been the community aspect.
For sure.
That's been like the what inspires me and sort of charges me.
For sure. I think we're in like kind of a new frontier of the community too. So even if you are starting out and you don't really, because a lot of the questions I get from newer cardists and DMs and stuff is like from Canadian cardists specifically, is like, how do I like join the community? Like, is there any local communities I can join? Blah blah blah. Are there cardists in my area? All this. But I think even if you are incredibly isolated, say you're like in the middle of Alaska as a cardist, we now have Patreons with like the greatest cardists of all time who are talking really in depth, almost in like a magic tutorial way about their cardistry. We have like the Square Up newsletter. We have Cardistry Course killing it. We have multiple types of conventions. We have Discords. We have our podcast. Zach has a
Yes.
podcast too. Everyone has a podcast. I feel like even if you're trying to escape the community aspect now, it's like you almost have to be part of it in a way
Yeah.
for the better. So
I don't think you can actually do it in a vacuum. I think it's impossible.
I've never tried. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
well, that's
not
we were talking about this, right? Like if
like
you went to
even
prison for 20 years and you had no access
Bill,
to
yeah, that
cardistry,
would be interesting. Would
would
be
you come out as the best
solitary
cardist of all time?
confinement. I don't want to do magic to no one.
I have a question for you both, which is, you've created some very iconic moves. Noel, you've got Phobos Deimos. Aviv, you have things like Hot Shot to Padiddle. Did you know when you were creating these moves that they would become classic moves? Was there something
No,
about it? No?
not at all. No, no, no,
No.
definitely no.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Back in the day, there weren't classics, to be honest.
Sure.
You create moves and you just create them. Classics is done in Dave and that's it.
There was
You
Dan,
know?
Dave, and DeVoe, and then everyone was like down here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think that way when you create. Even when it comes to it, you don't. Um, at least I don't really think, oh, I have a banger. Like I do sometimes. I get to an idea and I know, oh, okay, there's something special here. I know I'm excited about it. Me being a fan of cardistry, I know others will like it too. But it's not so much that I'm like, oh, I have a banger here. I need to do an album
Yeah.
with hits or something like that, because that's gonna ruin the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. In terms of like Phobos Deimos, like I think it's just a recipe of it, like of being distinct and being practical, and
Mm.
these things sort of like that makes it kind of catch on in a way.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I didn't really reflect on that when I was making it at all. It just turned out that way. So.
What are your two, or what do both of you think are like current kind of new era classics that are being created or have been created in the past
Hmm.
5 years? Off the top of your
Um,
heads.
Off the top, like Black Hawk, I love doing that.
Oh
Black
yeah.
Hawk's crazy.
That's a
Black Hawk
great
came out
move,
of nowhere too, which was
Yeah,
the best part of it.
Card
yeah,
Brothers.
that's an
Card
awesome
Brothers.
move. Um, uh, I mean, there's just so much material out these days.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to say. It feels like most like just when I'm trying to think, I'm just thinking of like the craziest moves. And that doesn't necessarily mean like the classic moves.
Right.
Because when I think classic, I think the kind of like like the move that everybody can do, sort of thing, and becomes sort of like a staple, like like a future basic or like something like that.
Right. Like
Um,
modern classics in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
I
and
I think sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Yeah.
uh, I think combos is a modern classic, just
Just like
generally.
comboing.
Just generally
Yeah,
combos, I guess
Yeah.
I
so.
mean, it wasn't a thing until Instagram, and then um, I think the Danes started to do the one-handed combos, and then that started to catch a trend, and then it
Yeah.
became like just this comboing thing that's going on. And that in itself, you have a lot of fidget moves there that are kind of like modern classics, I would
Yeah.
say.
For sure.
But standalone flourishes, I think that the regular classics are just,
Yeah.
Untouchable.
yeah,
How recent are we talking? Like in terms of like recent
Ah,
classics?
it can be whatever.
You know, because
recent.
like Burger has like multiples, right?
Oh,
Like
for
he has
sure.
multiple classics.
Yeah.
Oh, Riffle
Uh,
fan also.
Riffle
Riffle
fan.
Fan, I mean, yeah, that's a little bit older, right? Like that's
Is it?
Like
when is
fan toss, definitely. I think is a classic.
Fantos, Vad
FIFA,
Fan,
Bad
bad fan,
fan.
Fi
FIFA.
Fan,
Five
all
fan.
those like fan moves. But like a Riffle Fan, isn't it? Dimitri did that in like Silent
Dimitri,
Transition, right?
side transition, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
Yeah, you hear that,
It's old
Dimitri?
now.
You're old as hell, dude. That shit's old as hell.
That's like a classic. That's like a classic classic. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
I would call that a modern classic. Like
yeah,
I would put Dan and Dave as classics,
yeah.
or I would put even Dan and Dave as modern classics, actually.
Yeah. Well, because even
Classics is Spring and Charlier and those
I mean,
moves.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
okay, we're
yeah,
gonna yeah.
yeah,
This is semantics here.
It's getting a
Uh,
little bit like
yeah.
well, actually, the riffle shuffle is like the,
Yeah, yeah. Shut up, Aviv.
yeah. Well, because like um, damn. Yeah, because even like the Danes are kind of old and crusty now too.
Yeah.
Like Pinchot and Legolove and
yeah.
Mhm.
Skirt and all that stuff.
Yeah, Barolo 2.
Barolo, they've all been around for almost a
Oh,
decade now.
Hothead is a modern classic. Hothead 2,
Hothead
modern
2.
classic. That's a
Yeah.
modern classic. Yeah,
Boom.
yeah,
It's shocking how many people can do Hothead 2. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
a hard
know.
cut, and people just are
yeah,
like, I'm going to learn this.
yeah,
I was in
yeah,
Vietnam recently, and like a surprising number of people could pull it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like normalized. It's like a, I don't know. It's
yeah.
mind
It's
blowing
fucked
how
up.
good some of these these new cars are.
Yeah.
Heritage, maybe? Or is that,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It doesn't have to be like a something that everybody can do. Now that I think of it, it's just like impact also is a big part of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
heritage in that
I
case
think if
for
Chase
sure.
dropped a tutorial, a ton of people would like
I
learn
mean,
it
yeah,
perfectly.
We have
probably,
a
Yeah.
probably.
Patreon on just that move.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I have a question. I was watching Green, and
Mm.
then I was also I also love just watching like Danny Doherty's videos because I just love watching him cook.
Yeah.
And then I started watching like Jan Frisch stuff, and then I started watching their table work together. And then
Yeah.
Aviv, I was noticing, oh, like your kind of disappearing Sybil thing. I was like, this is kind of just like it's just advanced cardistry lapping technique. Sorry to expose
Right.
what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Noel too. You've also worked with like with lapping techniques. You also both have kind of extensive table work within cardistry. But it just got me thinking. I was like, when you're creating some of these magic cardistry combination moves, are you actually looking like outside of cardistry for inspiration for any of these techniques for stuff like lapping is kind of I think like a very cool unexplored area that
Mm.
cardistry could go in like a magical sense, but just
Yeah.
like how do other kind of mediums or art forms or whether it's card magic based or not, like how do those inform your cardistry?
I think I'm assuming it's the same for you, Aviv, but in my case, it all exists in the same place.
Mm,
So whenever you have like a nugget of an idea, it could go in either direction. Um, and yeah, those distinctions are good not to have when you're creating, I think. But then there's also the case where you, for example, like Aviv's like disappearing skater cut Sybil thing, uh, like that probably correct me if I'm wrong here, Aviv. That's probably the case of like, wouldn't this be cool? And then you try and figure it out, like
Yeah, it was
a way
very
to do it.
conceptual. was in the head.
And then, you know, lapping just comes up as a natural sort of method of doing that.
Right.
Um, sorry, I'm just speaking on your behalf now. I'm noticing. Sorry,
No.
Heath.
You're
Uh,
right.
but anyways, that's yeah. So I think it's just about being open and being informed,
Yeah.
like having all these sort of like methods in your back pocket just in case you need them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree, 100%.
Mm.
It's there's so much to opening up to magic. There's so much in this relationship between flourishes and sleights, cardistry and magic, and we had to push ourselves, we had to separate ourselves from magic for a while, not say the M word and all those things and kill magicians in our videos or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I think that we've gotten to the point where we can like reintegrate it and really cool stuff come out. Like the
Hmm.
opening shot of Ace, like what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
It's like you can feel Mario Lopez fingerprint on that.
100%.
Right? Like it's like a very clown-like routine, and you dance around the problem, but the way that you dance around it is very magical and flourish-like.
Mm.
And something like that would not happen if you wouldn't have this access to all those stuff.
Yeah.
Like think about all the stuff that you had to know at the background, and you working on that routine.
Yeah.
So just opening up to people who want to challenge themselves, do magic. Like learn
Yeah.
magic. Like seriously, like learn magic. Don't learn slides. Like learn magic. Try to
Yeah.
think like a magician, and it will give you like this something to play with cardistry. It's like instead of playing with one card, now you have another card, and you open up more. You know, it's I'm really advocate for recombining the two.
Magic
Rich.
rules. Yeah. Do you two have like a favorite magic magician, magic resource, magic book?
I really love Leonard Green and Mario Lopez. Like those are my two
Gotcha.
favorites if I had to
Yeah.
pick, probably. Then in terms of books, this is a great recommendation for all you cardists. By Forces Unseen.
Oh yeah.
This book
Yes.
Ernest.
is crazy.
That
It
shit
has
goes
some of the
crazy.
it has some of
Responsible
the
for Tony Chang.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it has so many cool slides in it that you
Yeah.
could like expand on and make cardistry out of for sure.
There's so much of
Yeah,
that book that's like flourishes for yourself because like if
yeah,
you're doing it and you do it right and it doesn't flash for them, but you get to see all the mechanics of it. It's so
yeah,
Mm,
cool what's going
yeah.
on
Exactly.
with some of
That's
those
like
moves.
it's the material in there is like definitely like the method is the fun part. Like in a lot of the tricks
Totally.
that are taught in it. Yeah, yeah.
for
So
sure.
recommend that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Claptrap had an influence on the beginning of Ace.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Hmm. To me, honestly, hanging out with magicians.
Yeah.
That's like the thing that really opened me up to it. Um, a good friend of mine, Dan Kaufman,
Shout
um,
out.
Shout
he
out.
is like the just seeing a magician works through a certain problem is
Yes.
just really interesting to develop this kind of like investigative, one step ahead kind of thinking is not something that you have with flourishes, but once you start to integrate it, it comes out really, it creates really interesting stuff. So I would say also hang out with magicians and books. This book was recommended to me by Kevin, and that's Tommy
Was it?
Wonders.
Oh yes, Tommy Wonder's Books of Wonder.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Like this book really helped me with my project too. So
The theory in
Gotcha.
there
I'll advise that too.
is applicable to any art
Next
form.
level.
Yeah. So this is usually where we like to ask you guys what your favorite blanks are.
Oh,
So
Damn it.
um,
yeah. It's gonna be tough.
I know we used to do a top three, but then because of time, we cut it down to just like what's your favorite blank, and we have five categories. So I'll ask Noel first, and then Aviv, and then we'll go back and forth between you two. So Noel, what is your favorite solo video? A video by just one artist.
Um, uh, it has to be um, stolen moments. Yeah, stolen moments.
Damn.
Mm,
Yeah.
Aviv, you better say an old video. Is your favorite video. You can say XCM if you want to as well.
no,
It's
that's
not a
for the next
solo though.
section.
That's true. That's true.
Uh, wow.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of silence during this part.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Like you caught me off guard. I had like three videos in my Some of them are like solos. Damn. I really liked Ace. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Very good.
Good
Very good.
answer.
Nice.
So the follow-up category, of course, is what is your favorite collaborative video? So Noel.
Um, Favorite collaborative video. I mean, for nostalgic reasons, the like Magic Weekend '08 video comes to
Mm,
mind.
Yeah.
I really liked Kyle and Sprat's Showbiz. That was really good.
Hmm.
Um, um, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Aviv?
For me, it's Spring Jam 2007.
Ah, special place
yeah.
in your heart, for sure. What is your guys' favorite move?
Our own?
Could be either. Just, you know, in general. Can be
I'll
yours, can
say
be anyone.
Angel. Angel.
Angel,
Yeah,
foundation of many
yeah.
good creation.
Damn. I would say the Spring.
Oh
Spring.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Keeping
But
it safe,
I
fellas,
would
with
say
those
like
picks.
Angel is so uh it's so good. It's
Yeah,
so simple, but like
yeah,
nobody knows you can stick cards to your fingers.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
It's like a magic trick to people. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
there is something really special about Angel too.
Hmm.
Yeah. What is your favorite deck?
OG Black Tiger Red Pip.
Mm,
Let's fucking go.
Tally Ho circle backs.
yes.
Yeah.
Easy.
This is real men shit.
Blue Seal. And finally, who's your favorite cardist?
Yeah, I mean this like we need to do a top three for this one. It's not gonna work with just
Okay,
one.
sure.
I mean, yeah.
We have time for
Also,
top three.
this is the only question I actually thought about beforehand, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to cheat a little bit. I
Okay.
did I did so it's like it's top three, but there's two Cardis in every
Damn.
so number three, I have Tobias and Yangshan.
Hmm.
Uh, then number two, I have Dan and Dave. Uh,
Nice.
and at number one, I have Jonas and Aviv.
Oh,
Oh
Mm,
shit.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
well, this one is pretty recent, but my favorite cardist is me. Um, and I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
like I know that sounds like so pretentious, but I really hold myself to a high standard, and
I mean,
I
it is the
work.
correct answer.
Honestly,
I
if like
clearly
anyone
agree
in the
with you.
community,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
Me
like
too,
it makes
Aviv.
total sense.
Me
yeah,
too.
Just say that I work really hard to be able to say that.
yeah. You're the only one who could
Yes.
say that. So, yeah.
I mean, I believe all of us should be able to say that at one point. Like not on
Yeah.
me, but on like on ourselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? Like, expound on that a little bit. Like,
Well,
everybody should be their own favorite
I
cardist at
think
one
that
point.
at least at the beginning, you have a lot of role models. You take something from him, something from that guy. Like you look outward for inspiration, but over
Mm.
time, you kind of figure out that everything that you do, you like,
Mm.
and you do it in a way that well, it's according to you to your taste. And if you don't become your own favorite cardist, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like I feel like a natural orientation that comes naturally once you do it long enough. But I'm not saying that lightly. Like I wouldn't be able to say that, let's say 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I really like what I do. I
No,
look at
it's
the
a
mirror and I'm proud of what I see. So
that's a
Mm.
really healthy
That's
perspective.
nice.
I think there's a lot of insecurity in cardistry, like your own cardistry and stuff. A lot of people are like really don't know how to view their own stuff.
for
So
sure,
I think just
yeah,
like being very confident about your material and stuff will make you a better cardist at the end. So yeah,
yeah.
good answer.
And I genuinely believe that my best work is still ahead of me. Like I genuinely
Wow,
believe that.
Mm.
So
let's go.
That's scary.
Let's go.
No,
XCM
nothing.
10 incoming.
XCM. The X stands for 10.
Yeah, X.
10 centimeters. So, now we move on to the questions from the community. You guys are very popular. We got a ton of questions, but I've narrowed it down to just a handful for time's sake. So the first question is, how do you deal with burnout? Any advice?
Take a little break and don't be so hard on yourself. That's easier said than done, not to be hard on yourself. But I think taking a little break, getting some perspective, getting back to it, that works most of the time for me. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I would add to that, really. I think just yeah, just having a healthy perspective on it, and that's kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier in terms of like the fact that it's just play, and once you start getting too serious about it, it can be sort of debilitating. Um, I think it has to do with that. So just relax. You don't have to pump out a banger every day. And just be reasonable, you know, play safely.
Nice.
Aviv?
well
Burnout?
said. I mean, I have nothing to add to that. That was perfect.
Great, great, great. How has cardistry impacted your life outside of shuffling?
Oh wow.
Ooh, in a lot of ways. Do you want to go first, Aviv?
I wouldn't be able to stop and talk.
Uh,
It changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that lightly. Like the project that I've been working on, um, like changed the way that I show up in the world pretty much. And all of that is because of cardistry. There is something about opening yourself up to something that seems so trivial and so people just like overlook it. Sometimes you see cards on the floor as you walk down the street, nobody looks at them, but for you it kind of like catches your eye and you're kind of like
Oh yeah.
you know they kind of like shine at you.
Mm.
And I feel like it puts that kind of like it brings the shining back to things. You start to appreciate small things in life that I wouldn't be able to see. I don't think I would be able to see if I wasn't engaged in this artistic practice. So
mm,
it didn't change just the way that I do stuff. It changed me, like the way that I see things. So
Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't necessarily apply to everyone, but once you take it as a practice, not necessarily as a hobby, but something that is more meaningful to you, you will have this kind of experience.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I
Beautiful.
second that. That's beautifully said. And yeah, and like it's it's been like just it's been like a safe space for me doing it. It's something that's mine. Like it's meant so much to me, and it's been a gateway to all these different things as well. You know, music and like getting to travel and becoming friends with so many fascinating people. I mean, yeah, it's allowed me to travel the world and just pour all my time into my passion. And I've never taken that for granted. Like it's been uh, extremely meaningful for me,
Hmm.
and you know, has given me a perspective on life, I think, and made me really determined to never like compromise and always like aim for what I love doing, no matter what. Because I've been so lucky to early on, finding something that's given me that perspective, you know. So I mean, yeah, I could also go on forever, but it's been like a true blessing, I think, getting to be like a part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really a gift.
Yeah.
Mm.
It really is. And then it just opens up everything that you just said, Noel.
Mm,
It's really beautiful.
mm.
I agree. I agree. Next question. What move took the longest to realize from first idea to final execution?
Oh, I couldn't answer that to save my life. I have no idea. I repress all these traumas. I try to not think about it. Uh, yeah, I couldn't tell you. Sorry. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's not even necessarily that you work on that. It's just there in the background. You don't feel called
Yeah.
to play with it even. It's not like you're intense on that. I don't know either. It's kind of a blur.
Yeah.
Wow. Brendan, do you have a move that took you a long time to finish?
Dude, I've been promising Tobias a solo video for like 6 years. Every single year, I'm like, he's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me 2 months." And then Cardistry rolls around, I'm like, "Next year, bro, next year." So yeah, basically every single one of my moves answers that question.
Wow.
Okay.
Tobias is like a librarian chasing you for overdue books.
Yeah, and like the expectation that like I'm gonna film is gonna be the worst, and he's gonna be like, I know this, I can see his face already be like, I want to flip that though. How about the move you came up with the quickest and was just like done, and that like
Uh,
you put in a video?
Man.
um, I feel like a lot of my moves are like conceptualized pretty quickly, to be honest. It's just practice that takes
Mm,
time. Like I think you know the nature of my moves are very conceptual. I mean, as soon as I have the concept, it's sort of there.
yeah,
So yeah, it's mostly like the time-consuming thing is just like getting it down
gotcha.
for a video. So I think in most cases it's like you know a day and the move is there.
Crazy.
Yeah. Um, I mean, some moves have that. Like I remember one thing that pops to mind is rubber leg. It's the kind of like trill on the leg.
Mm.
I created it while being in a jam with Idan. He was playing with palming a card beneath his knee and trying to make something out of it. And that's the first thing that I did. Uh, and it just happened. It was a really good night. But, sometimes we think that good things need to be worked really hard on. But I think that you often forget that you've been working for years before that moment.
Yes.
It's not only that small session that counts. So, um, Yeah. So sometimes it comes like
Yeah.
that. Like I really enjoy the times where like an image pops to your mind and it's quicker than a snap of a finger. Like you know exactly what you need to do. You know how probable it is, how likely it is to succeed. Like FedEx, for example, was something like that. I was like, oh, I need to hit it like this. I need to be in this angle. It's possible. Okay. And I don't practice it because I'll just save it to
Right.
the video.
Yeah, there's a story that Max Maven told about Picasso that was kind of like that, where he says that Picasso was just chilling in some park somewhere, and this lady came up to him and she was like, "Oh my God, you're Picasso! You're amazing! Wow, I'm such a huge fan. Would you draw something for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Takes a napkin, scribbles something real quick, hands it to her. She's like, "Thank you so much." And he's like, "Yeah, that'll be $900." She's like, "What? But this took you like 5 seconds to draw." And he says, "No, it took me my whole life."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
It-
What is a moment in your life that you look back on when you need inspiration?
hmm. Moment that I look back on.
I don't look back for inspiration.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
honestly, I would
Tell
agree
them.
with that. I would agree with
No,
that.
seriously.
Yeah.
It's more so I'm excited for the future. So that inspires me.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
Oh, wasn't expecting that, but that's a very good answer. This one's kind of cute. What music and food have you been listening to and liking recently?
Um, I've been listening a lot to this. I think he's like a Taiwanese techno musician called Zoozing lately. I've been like pumping that pretty hard
Hmm.
because I've been like in the midst of production on a short film for the last couple of months, and I've been like super stressed. And whenever I'm like stressed, I like listening to stressful music. Uh, it helps me relax. So I just found like the hardest music I could like possibly find, and I've just been listening to that on repeat.
Hmm.
Uh, Highly recommend. Zoozing, I think it's spelled like Tuzusing, something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
and food, I've since I've been on production, uh, it's been a lot of like quick like grab and eat. So I'm only been eating burgers for 2 months,
Yeah.
which I have been enjoying a lot. I have to say. Uh, but now I just wrapped earlier today, so now I need to get back on some real food. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean for me food I was eating a lot of junk lately. Um, but I started to work out quite seriously like 2 months ago. Like I always have like breaks, ups and downs with the workouts. I always get injured. So now I'm back into eating healthy salads and all that stuff. Music, I'm in a weird era of Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Old
Let's.
Lincoln Park?
Yeah,
Oh.
the old Linkin Park. No, the new one is horrible. Sorry. But yeah, I just can't stop. It's a problem.
Dude.
Nice.
No, that's old school as hell.
No, Lincoln Park's the
The amount of
best.
Linkin Park in old Cardistry videos is like
Oh yeah.
crazy.
I think Darren had a video with Linkin Park,
Darren
right?
went crazy with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sylvester had a move named after it was breaking the habit. It was a bad habit variation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song of theirs, so
Oh.
I
That
didn't
music video is
check.
crazy too.
Yes. Crazy video.
Should have used that in XCM as a song.
Is there something you know now that would have made learning cardistry easier earlier?
Not really. I don't think. I think, yeah, no, I don't think so. Sorry.
It's hard. It's always been hard. It always will
I
be
don't know. I
hard.
might I might just not remember, but I've always just had fun with it, honestly. Like
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, like uh, I would just go back and say do it again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do it the same. Yeah.
Yeah, do the same.
Last question from the community. This one is not really a question, it's more of like a request. And the request is, can you name three things that you love about the other person?
Whoa.
Sure.
Well,
Um, I think I obviously love Aviv for his passion. I think that's like very. I mean, yeah, it's pretty obvious how passionate he is about everything he does. Um, I think that obviously also. I mean, that might be the same thing, but like determination. Uh, also, like this project, the fact that you've been like working on this for 6 years is insane to me.
Then.
Um, it's actually ridiculous. So patience also. But I mean, just the creative approach and philosophy of Aviv, I think I resonate. It resonates with me a lot. I think we are we speak the same language, but we're different accents, or however you'd say. Uh, or maybe the other way around. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think he just inspires me a lot and like pushes the boundaries and is sort of an enigma to me in a lot of ways. Where um, this his style um, is sort of this weird combination that I can't really wrap my head around of like highly conceptual but still very free flowing, and I've never really seen that anywhere else. And just from jamming a lot with Aviv, working on moves with Aviv, how light on his feet he is when he sort of creates or we finish up one of his moves, it's just kind of mind blowing. Yeah, just endlessly inspired by Aviv. Yeah, is that three things? Not sure.
Passion, dedication, and I forgot the third one.
Yeah, whatever.
You
he's
love
so
him.
handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Very handsome also. Yeah,
Well,
Uh, yes.
yeah, I mean, thank you. That means a lot. That was very kind. Um, I I really just enjoy being in your company, just in your presence.
thank you, man.
We can be in the same room, and it's just so much fun.
Mm,
It's so goofy, and it's so like this feeling of anything just can happen, and um, I really like that about you because
same.
you are Noel. You're just you. You just don't give a fuck. You're just like
It's
your
hard.
you like your you have your weirdness, but it's so cool because you own that so to your core
Thank you,
that is
man.
so it's so intoxicating. It's so fun to be around you.
Damn, that's
Um,
so nice. Thank you.
Also, this is one thing that I noticed while filming videos with you is that you are very you have like this skill of discernment that I often lack in video. Like when I film video, I can film the same moves hours and hours and hours and hours on end, but you would be like, even if a small mistake happened, you are able to look at it and be like, oh no, that's actually pretty cool. There's something about that imperfection that I really like, and I'm not able to see that.
Mm,
And I remember in XCM, there were a couple of times that you were like, no, we're good, we got it. And we needed that because we were very short on time. And that was very something that I'm trying to take upon
mm,
myself when, for the future videos and not drive myself too crazy.
mm.
Um, and third thing, hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing else. That's fine.
No, I mean that's a good question. I mean it's
Yeah, no, that's super nice of you. I appreciate it.
I
Mm,
I mean you obviously inspire me a lot, so otherwise we wouldn't do this amazing two videos that we've done. So I think our collaborations speak for themselves. So
yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. That's very sweet.
That's beautiful. Holy moly.
That was that
I
was that
love
was really tough for me. I'm Swedish, so I can't take compliments, but I really do appreciate it.
this is very sweet.
Brendan, do you have anything to add to ask?
I actually something just popped into my head. So I think we're kind of as a community we're moving away from like big brand solo videos in a way, or this is just not as common. Um, which I think is going to drive us to a lot of more like do it all yourself type of videos, webcam style. You both
That'd
have
be sick.
done that, like Aviv especially. You are kind of like you and Jonas are the king of solo webcam videos in my opinion. And Noel, I think you filmed one before too for maybe
Yeah,
some
I've done a
games
couple,
back in.
but they're not
No,
they're not
they're
online anymore.
classics.
Yeah.
But do you have tips to like make those as hard hitting as possible? Like, because Aviv, your angle, like I don't know, I've watched your videos literally hundreds of times. But like it never felt like it was like a solo webcam tripod situation. I don't know if there's a flow to it or something, but
Interesting.
do you have any
Um,
tips for how someone might approach filming a video, doing it all themselves? You as well know because you're also in directing and like film and stuff as well.
for me, that's easier. Bec it's kind of funny. It's easier because I can be harder on myself.
Right.
But it's like I just play around and I trust my eye. So
Hmm.
I noticed that I also have this tendency to always tilt the camera a little bit. I don't like angles that are like straight and square, like kind of give you this 2001 Odyssey vibe. You know,
Yes.
to me, it needs to be a little bit crooked. It needs to be a little raw. I feel like it adds a little dynamic to it.
Right.
And that kind of angle, I guess, if you can imagine the image of stolen moments at the
Yeah.
beginning. So it's like this idea basically, and I just move around. I try to make sure that the background is not too distracting, but also it can't be too boring, like this background. Because and kind of funny, like you can cross a certain point where the background is too noisy that it's not distracting because it's too noisy.
Right. Right.
Um, but generally, just play around, play with the angles. Don't I don't come with a plan. Like I might have an idea, like okay, let me try and do a kaleidoscope video, right? And then I'm just playing around. I'm not. I don't have like a storyboard or something like that. It's a webcam kind of vibe, so I just like turn it on and play around with it.
Vic, you filmed like stolen moments. You was that some like I know you had someone help you film some of it, but some of it as well was just you, right?
No, all of it was with a non-cardist friend, and it took us
Non-cardist
two
friend.
full weeks to film that video.
Two
Poor
weeks.
guy.
Yeah.
And it was like one move a day, and that was intense. That was something.
I hope you paid them or something.
It's a really, really good friend. Yeah, I owe him a lot. Let's
Wow.
put it that way.
Damn.
That's some good BTS. Good lore.
Yeah.
How about
All
you,
right.
Noel? Any tips?
Um, I mean, that's not really my forte. I haven't done a lot of that stuff, but I would just say like let the sort of move inform how you film it. Just, pretty straightforward. Look which angle is the most interesting. Try and try and make it like a little different. I'd say like if you're doing a video by yourself with a tripod, Carter is a great example of this. Like he
Yeah.
has like figured it out. Like it's so dynamic the way he shoots,
Hmm.
and then also obviously most of it lies kind of in the edit as well. Like
Yeah.
a tight
Yeah.
edit, interesting angles, just make it dynamic. Yeah, I don't know. I think Aviv sort of said all that had to be said.
I would also add to that,
Okay.
just as you put a
Yeah.
point on it.
Yeah.
I would also add to that that I don't come 100% prepared for a video,
Mm.
and that's very intentional. Like, first of all, the moves that I create don't allow it, and secondly, I like to keep like let's say like 30 or 20% unfinished, because when you come in front of the camera, sometimes there is like a certain trade-off. Like you need to sacrifice certain parts of the flourish that you thought were going to be in the
Hmm.
video, but something else turned out to be pretty good. But if you are like too narrow focused, you might not see that. So to me, it's really again coming back to this idea of playing with that camera. So the way that you perform to your camera is totally different than how you show flourishes to real people, at least for
Right.
me. So that leeway is really helpful.
Amazing. That's kind of it from my end. I mean, I'd love to like talk really nitty gritty about some of your moves, but I feel like for the sake of time, and I don't
I
know.
mean, up to you.
Nah, we're
I think
good.
that's a perfect place to call it, guys. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
this has been a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Noel and Aviv, for coming on our show.
Thank you for
Thank you
having us.
guys.
To all you guys watching, like let us know what you think about the episode in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for who to bring on next, just let us know. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Wait, do we want to plug their stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I think
So
we already did, right?
Oh
yeah,
Or
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. Oh,
mentioned the
what?
Patreon.
patreon.com/Noel
Yeah,
Heath,
there you
right?
go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Aviv at secretproject.com.
Them
Yeah.
in Instagram.
Yeah. At Aviv M Cards, right?
Yes.
Dot yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll leave all the
Nice.
links in the description below. So, yeah.
Rock and roll.
See you guys.
Yeah. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.